This is a presentation to Delta, the designation champion supporter of the Partnership for Water Sustainability. Correspondence from Ted Vander Gulik, President of the Partnership for Water Sustainability in BC, dated October the 7th, 2015 refers. We have a delegation here, Mr. Kim Stevens, the Executive Director of the Partnership for Water Sustainability in British Columbia.
And welcome, Mr. Stevens. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. And it is indeed a pleasure, and I'm really here for two reasons. One is to thank you, and two is to actually celebrate. That's the main purpose, celebrate what you're doing. And Mayor Jackson, you may remember the first time we met, which was in 2006, in terms of you're getting your support for the Showcasing Innovation Series. So we have come a long way, and in terms of what I'm talking about tonight, it really is, the topic is rainwater management, and it's in a watershed sustainability context. And just to give, let me see, everyone a bit of context as to who what the Partnership for Water Sustainability is. I do believe that some of you, or many of you, actually read our weekly e-newsletter, so you have a bit of a sense. The partnership actually began as an intergovernmental partnership. It's kind of like an ad hoc thing, and because of the number of resources and tools we have, we morphed into society. So that's the Society for, the Partnership for Water Sustainability in British Columbia is a non-profit society. So in terms of what we do, our mission, you see it on that slide there about developing tools, developing talent. That's the reason I'm here, to celebrate kind of the talent you have and to focus on outcomes. And so really, I want to get right to it in terms of, local governments learn from each other. That's the key. And really one of the things that makes Delta stand out is your rain garden program. So really there's Delta and North Van City both have rain garden programs. So earlier this year we did do what we call a watershed case profile featuring you. And the stories, the sharing of the stories, that's what helps eliminate that disconnect between information and implementation. So again, you've got a lot to be proud of. And so even though Hugh said not to mention his name, I am going to mention his name. Because really, just your rain garden program is really all about the people, right? And I took last year, a year ago, went across the country doing a workshop series on the BC experience, and Hugh Fraser did provide this quote for us, because what makes British Columbia different from other provinces is really our approach. We do focus on outcomes here, and wherever we went, people say, "What's your criteria?" They're all very engineering centric. But I like this quote from Hugh, because it says, the innovation that you're seeing here is the result of not being overly regulated. Because if you're not being overly regulated, that releases the creativity, and then you do good things. And that leads into your rain garden program, the fact that it's a decade. Next year it'll be the decade, the 10th anniversary, and when the last rain garden at a school in North Delta goes into place next year, that's 10 years to the date. And what I find personally interesting is many decades ago, when my wife was teaching actually in Delta, she taught at Cougar Canyon, and so that's where it all started. But that was before her time. Anyway, so I think this quote from Sarah Howie is good, because you keep learning. It's continuous improvement. It's not the cookie cutter approach. I think that's good to recognize. And of course, following me is Deborah Jones, the rain gardens lady. So again, I think her quote captures the significance of your story, which is really the fortunate confluence of personalities, interests, and skills. And I can attest this to the fact that this stuff just doesn't happen. I mean, it always is the right people in the right place at the right time, and you get magic. And so, kind of transitioning out of the celebrating your rain garden program, because it's so symbolic. Just want to give you the bigger picture context, which is really what I'm responsible for leading and implementing right now, is the Georgia Basin Interregional Education Initiative. Sounds like a mouthful, right? But it's that sharing of the learning and the experiences amongst not just a couple of local governments, but 5 regional districts and the members within those regional districts. So it's kind of a unique collaboration. You can think about having Metro Vancouver, the Capital Region, the Cowichan Region, the Nanaimo Region, and the Comox Valley Region, all working together. And back in April, and Mayor Jackson, you were one of the ones, I guess, who passed a resolution where we went back to the regional boards and asked everybody to reaffirm commitment to the building of capacity, the building of talent within the local government sector, and looking ahead to really to 2017. So we have that 2-year mind map. And as you see from your slide, we're not trying to change the world overnight. And so, if you look at that goal by 2017, it's actually pretty modest in terms of if we can just get everybody within local government understanding, right? The keyword understanding how to achieve sustainable watershed systems and through asset management. I'll explain that in a moment. But that's why it's so important to have the success stories like the Delta Rain Garden program, a decade, because then it's a way of showing people that one can make a difference, one municipality at a time. And so if I'm going to give you, other than celebrating your great success, give you one other takeaway tonight, it's introducing this paradigm, which is to begin to think of watersheds as infrastructure assets. And we've thought a lot about our language and how to convey this, because as local governments, infrastructure is what you do, right? In terms of, think about water mains and sewer lines and roads, and yet we don't tend to give the same kind of credit to the natural system. So if we can begin, all of us, to truly think of watersheds as an asset, and when you have an asset, you protect it, you manage it, right? And so the aspect of a watershed that I really want to bring to your attention, and that's why the rain gardens is a really good example, is the 3 pathways by which rain water, when it falls, reaches streams, water courses, whatever. And we all know about surface runoff, right? We all know about the path where it goes deep, but where most of the rain goes when it goes into the ground is through what we call the interflow zone, kind of horizontally. And so that's a very important pathway to protect. And so the rain garden program really is a significant step to thinking about how to manage and protect that asset, because ultimately each of those pathways provides what we call a water balance service. Again, local government provides services, right? So water balance services are just as important as water main services and sanitary sewer services. So at this point, ta-da! Are we ready? Because I do have the framed letter of recognition.
Oh my goodness!
Yes. And really what this does is it summarizes very in a capsule format kind of the history of the collaboration between this municipality, actually as a founding partner of this intergovernmental initiative, and where we are today. And in particular, the letter does highlight the 2007 Showcasing Innovation Series, where you did the opening comments and you said, I'm going to go and tell your colleagues at the board. And I think the one time I do want to remind you was, I think it was the first time I met you, and you were trying to get your mind around what do we mean by green infrastructure. And I think you were just starting to get into rain gardens at that time. And you said, oh, I get it, because you had this image of a rain garden, right? So that was an important part of the story of why I'm here today. And that's why it's so exciting that Deborah Jones will follow me. But in the meantime, I got to give you this.
Oh my goodness!
And great, if you can do that for me. Okay.
So much.
So how do you want us to do it?
Where's the best way?